Okay, here we go. G'day everyone. If there is anyone out there listening in, again, not financial advice. This is just the way I'm looking at the market. Just a quick scan of what might be happening over the next day or so and into the future. Not a lot's changed today. Market's quite dull. I mean, volumes are reasonably low, possibly a little bit higher than yesterday, but I think all the news that's coming out tomorrow, like GDP was a nothing, durable goods orders is up, which actually would generally be positive, but it is down on the previous one. So I guess the things aren't quite as bad as what people thought, but they're still not great. And then yeah, tomorrow we've got the core PCE is going to be the interesting one. If we get higher than 0.1, I would expect the markets to drop. If we don't, then they'll keep going up, or they'll go back up. I think everything's riding on that at the moment. Everyone seems to be paying attention to it, but it would make a lot of sense if it did come in higher than 0.1, or even if we did have some sort of blowout on it. Even if it got higher than 0.2, then markets will probably drop quite hard. So just be careful tonight if you're going into the day with a position open. It might not play out so well. So yeah, not a lot happening. Bit of an inside day so far. On the previous day, haven't traded higher or lower. Global liquidity is still coming down. Stochastic momentum is still ticking up on the daily. Heat map is an interesting one. This is probably giving me the most suggestion of where things are going to go. You can see here we've still got this chunk of liquidity down here compared to the short liquidity that is sitting up here. That's quite attractive to a market maker, I would think. If we go to the 24-hour, it's actually even more pronounced. So there isn't a lot of reason for the market to drive higher here, unless it is just someone comes in and wants to buy it up. So could be a news play, but I suspect the rest of today through the Asia session, it's probably going to want to come down and tap into this here. Okay. Whether we get below that 60k mark, I'd kind of be surprised, but down seems more likely than up at the moment. For Bitcoin anyway. So I have a quick look. Looking at the Nasdaq. Again, kind of sideways. Everyone's just waiting, I think. Nvidia is down though. But again, not a lot of volume at all. And yeah, kind of a doji type candle. It is. That would suggest more bearishness for me than anything, but nothing to write home about when this thing can drop, 5% in a day quite easily, 10% in a day. And we are getting close to that bearish control zone, so things are looking more bearish than bullish for Nvidia, which is probably going to affect the whole market, I would say. Equal weight is kind of nothing burger at the moment. It's no man's land. If we do get a little pump here, I would expect it to sort of have some resistance around that 50 and the middle band of that Gaussian channel. IWM had a decent day. So again, just suggesting there's rotation into other sectors out of the semis. XLY, XLP is up. That tends to be a good sign for the overall economy. But it could just be like a lot of IWM is made up of the XLY type stocks. So it could just be sort of that money rotation doing this. But in general, that is supportive of a bullish type market. Is my I should have checked earlier, but yes, my mic's working. DJI versus gold is probably, I'd expect that to still keep coming up, which means gold's probably going to drop a little. We'll have a look at that in a sec. German market looks like a distribution at the moment. The Dixie, nothing to really write home about. Markets are just kind of chopping around a bit, moving money from one side to the other, basically. It hasn't broken below that previous low, but it certainly has recovered that vector candle there. So it might have been doing that before it moves to the upside. So, we're coming into resistance here. This is what you find with big news events. There's always, you're coming into a point of it could go either way. So you just got to be a bit careful, especially with the way that the market can move. VIX is down. Interesting little trend line in here. Don't pay too much attention to trend lines on the VIX, but they can play out. In which case you would expect the VIX to pop up, and probably over the next couple of days, so into the start of next week, you might find that we end up hitting that 200. But yeah, just the fact that the VIX is low probably means that we're not gonna see massive moves yet, I don't think. Yes, we might go down on the PCE, but still not expecting a huge dump. TLT is pretty flat. Whoa. Geez, the bond market did a big fuck you yesterday. Didn't notice that. That's interesting. That would suggest a bit of a bond vigilante play, as they say, which essentially means the bond market doesn't agree with the way the economy's, or the way the stock market's going. The way the economy's going, we do still have that skew crush as well, and that is still heading down, so that's suggesting further downside. Copper looks like it's heading to our target. Gold has had a bounce. Now, that's a pretty decent bounce, actually. Yeah, decent bounce, clearing back above this 50 and above that middle band of the Gaussian channel on volume. That's an interesting one. Still kind of in a downward trend, but again, we said the other day that it needs to kind of find support around here. If we break through these levels, then gold would be coming back to 2200 pretty quickly. Have a quick look at silver. It's same sort of deal. Have a look at the Brazilian real. It is. Ooh, it might have swiped the lows on here, but given the dollar sort of didn't really do much today either way, I wouldn't take this little uptick as a bottoming sign. That's for sure. The M2 money supply upticking still. Flat on the yield curve. So the 2-year and the 10-year both sort of drop the same amount. Let's do percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average is still ticking up. So again, that's probably driven a lot by the Russell 2000. Let's do oil. Ooh, oil looks like it wants to go for that 800 EMA there on the daily, so 84 level. That's a cheeky close though, Jesus. Or cheeky position if it closes here. Still got 6 hours though, so yeah, look, I'd suspect oil goes up. Certainly looking more bullish than bearish at the moment, based on that close or that candle so far. Mag 7 had a decent day, still eking its way up. The Aussie's choppy. Jesus. So, it's only 1%. Total crypto market cap has seemingly bounced off this level as well. So everything in crypto is kind of keyed around this 200 EMA on the daily for Bitcoin and for total market cap. Let's go to Bitcoin longs. Still going up. So there's still plenty of buying interest at these levels. Which we could flush them. Could flush quite a few of them if it does drop back down and sweep the lows with that previous wick. Sweep these sort of lows here. ETH dominance is going up. Bitcoin dominance is coming down. It would make sense for Bitcoin to stay kind of flat to down and Ethereum and the others to go on a little run. Ethereum looks keen on this most traded zone. It seems to be struggling to get through the Gaussian channel midband at the moment. And you got the 50 above that. I'd be surprised if ETH just goes straight through this region. I'd say 3,500 or thereabouts is going to be a pretty big resistance level, but stochastic momentum has just ticked to the upside on it too. So it's in no man's land. So this can flop around a little bit, as you can see here, especially on low volume. As you can see here, same sort of volumes. So just be careful on that. Don't necessarily put all your eggs in one basket there. And back to Bitcoin. So Sol had a rip of a day. Straight up into that 50 and the hundreds in there as well. 100 EMA, 50 EMA. That's quite interesting. Could have been a short squeeze on it. People were shorting the market pretty hard as it was going down. So the rest of them are pretty similar. Most of them have had a decent day, decent to flat. So apart from Sol and Glimmer, Jesus, wow, that got some interest. There's the Dot and Sol have both had very similar days. Okay, so We go down to a shorter time frame on Bitcoin. I've actually been updating this script a little bit overnight. Interesting that it flipped that trade there, but this is actually going to take more profits on the way up now too in the future. I haven't updated this particular one anyway. On the 15-minute, basically, obviously we're trending down. Looking at the MACD, it's actually like I've got a particular setting on this, but if that does tick up and we go again, that could be quite a run. I would expect this to get stopped out pretty hard. The thing is, we're right in this friggin' zone, and obviously we're coming into the Asia session, which they can move markets pretty heavily lately, but they didn't yesterday. It was pretty flat, sort of throughout the day yesterday, and we only really ramped up during the European session. So yeah, a little bit of a pump and dump through the US session. I suspect it's going to be pretty flat around this level. A lot of moving averages and stuff like that around that level. Just have a quick look on the hourly. It's an interesting sort of double top, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that a double top at the moment. We're kind of in no man's land on the hourly. I suspect I just put where is it? Just put 100 EMA on there as well, because I have a feeling the 100 EMA will be right in here. Just takes a little bit to update that script. Yeah. Couldn't hold above the 100, but that doesn't necessarily mean much. MACD is still in the bearish zone on the hourly, and it looks like it's ticking over, but yeah, look, the main guide at the moment, even on the shorter time frames, I think really is the liquidity profile. I suspect it's struggling to get through here. I think it's going to be a liquidity play if there's a decent move, and I wouldn't be surprised if they use the news, the PCE news today to actually move that distance, because you're coming into at least here, at least this region here, for sucking up most of that liquidity. Okay. Yeah, that's about all I got for you today, I think. That's how I'm looking at the market today. Catch us later.